that we haven't been able to do for the past.
I was like, oh crap, we're not in focus, and I realized we're not even the focus anymore.
We're not the focus. We don't need to be in focus.
Local broadcasting has begun.
This is exciting.
Mel Gibson is in position.
This already. I'm already having fun.
It's fun to watch.
This is Mel Gibson Cam.
Yes.
Hashtag Mel Gibson Cam. We're gonna try out this hashtag thing because giving away Blu-rays didn't help.
Yeah.
So what else?
Hashtags of the future.
Hashtags of the future, and we got like a live animal.
Yeah.
Right.
Live. Oh, this almost could be a live animal, but I guess it's a delayed live
recorded
animal.
live animal.
Recorded live animal. But yeah, this is
It's Mel Gibson.
Yeah, it's Mel Gibson. It's not really her name, but it might as well be.
What's her
I
name?
haven't thought of a name yet.
Why is Mel Gibson
I'm really
real?
bad at coming up
What's
with
wrong with
names.
Mel Gibson?
I don't know. It's a fantastic name.
Other than the fact that it's a female snake, what's wrong with naming her Mel Gibson?
The good thing with snakes is that you can't really tell. It's like you really want to like find out.
Can you find it?
Yes, you can.
If you rip back the flaps or whatever,
Kind
how do
of,
you do it?
yeah. You like bend it backwards. Like you find the flap and you kind of bend like so that's like.
And then you
the
see
pivot point, and then, yeah,
the little John Thomas.
Yeah, essentially, it's kind of like
Okay.
that. You know, I don't.
Lovely.
Yeah. I mean, animal penises are weird. Snake ones are especially weird. So I mean, it's just like.
We've already got it. This kind of energy would never have happened if we were doing a web show.
Knowing that people aren't watching me, I feel like I can say whatever I want now. It's so much better that way. Like,
Oh, I'm already amused. I'm already so amused.
yeah. I forgot to put in our intro beforehand. We might have to do that like post-production.
Post-production, the intro in? I can do
Yeah,
that.
okay.
I can work that voodoo.
You've post-producted a few things before.
Post-production. Speaking of post-producting things, has there been... I know you've been especially busy, so I don't ask
not
this
really.
naggy
I think I've
sense,
put
but-
in... Yeah. I know what the question is. But
Yeah. Well,
I put in like one more line of dialogue, I think, and that was it. Like, since I last looked at it, and then... Yeah, then I fell asleep, I think.
but your schedule's about to like kind of maneuver itself
Hopefully
a better way.
normal out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
One would hope.
We got to get that going, but
Yes.
that'll be our update on that. There's been other movies that have been released. Here's my segue.
Besides ours?
Here's my segue. Yeah.
Okay. Like what? What has been released that's so worth seeing?
Well, let me ask you this: have you encountered anything for this Ben-Hur remake?
I saw a trailer once.
Doesn't that look?
Oh, it looks so bad.
Really bad. Let me show you just an image
So bad.
that I saw that I stumbled upon today that I think is hysterical.
Oh man, who is that on the left? It looks like
That's Jack Houston.
I was gonna say it looks like Russell Brand or something. Russell Brand is Ben-Hur.
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
But no, it doesn't. Okay, if somebody was making a parody movie about Hollywood and you saw this going on in a Ben-Hur remake, you would be like, "That's funny."
Yeah, you'd think it's like Hail Caesar.
Yeah. And that is a real movie. They spent $100 million to remake Ben-Hur
That's somehow less than I expected, but I mean, you know, it's
yeah, but $100 million on that, and then
how much did the original Ben-Hur cost?
well,
No, I'm curious because think about it.
this is going to require some math because we'll have to update for inflation.
Yeah. But still, this is interesting. Let's see what happens here.
Well, I'm going to have to do some Googling, though, I think is the main problem we're going to run into.
That's okay.
I did see that Box Office Mojo posted that it would have been the 14th highest grossing movie of all time adjusted for inflation.
Jeez.
So $15 million.
14th only to Avatar, and that's about it.
In 1959 money.
14 million?
15 million.
15, okay.
1959 adjusted for inflation 2016.
Ooh.
How do I do this?
Click the calculator.
Okay. Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
15 million
15 mil.
in 1959, 2016. I have to use less than 10 million. Well, let's figure out.
Okay, yeah. Well,
So
then
what's
just,
10 million? Then?
let's find out 10 million. Then you just add 50%.
We can do that.
Yeah.
We can figure that out. 82 would be 10
Oh,
million.
okay. Never mind. That would have cost more back
It
then.
would have cost more back then.
Okay, interesting.
But that was huge back then.
It was.
They
Well,
built all
it's
that huge
weird.
stuff. They actually did things back then.
For what? About $40 million more dollars, they could make all these sets and whatnot, and it would come out to be a good movie, right? Ben-Hur's regarded as a good movie.
It's a cool movie.
Like,
I think whether you like the story or not, like
Okay.
production values, yeah, it's super cool looking.
Yeah, it's like an epic poem of movies, essentially, right? It's
Yeah,
kind of
that's a good
like
way to
it's
put
not necessarily like good, but you know you have to admire it for what it is, and like
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up.
wow.
Here. So that's the old one. I want to find
Oh, man.
the original one here. I'll mute it.
So we don't get taken down by
That's
the
right,
corporations.
Let me just show you. So, like the logistics. This is like the weirdest podcast. I'm like, let me show you this. But
man.
so they've got all these cool sets and
real chariots. Someone actually died.
People, they actually tripped horses and stuff.
Oh man,
filmed in CinemaScope. 70 millimeter.
Not Technicolor.
I'm not sure the color.
Oh man, I went and saw The Shining on 70 millimeter or 35. It looked awful.
Did it?
It was
an old
it
bad
was
print.
so great. Like there was really, like lions everywhere, static and whatnot.
Lions everywhere.
Yeah, man, lions.
Well,
but it was crazy. Like it almost kind of added to it because like as it starts getting towards the end of the movie, there's even more like static and fuzz and stuff going on. So it's like, oh crap!
I feel like
getting crazy.
Kubrick would not find that as charming as some directors.
Really, I think in that one it kind of fits. Like I don't know.
Maybe The Shining more so than some of the other ones. So you've seen The Shining a fair number of times now.
Twice.
Still like it?
Yeah. I liked it the second time around.
I love The Shining so much. Barry Lyndon, though. You got to see Barry Lyndon.
Yeah, I need to watch that one.
Well, where I was going with this whole Ben-Hur talk is basically this summer you've seen quite a few movies not make any money. And they're all pretty much big movies like one week after the other.
Yeah.
So
I feel like it's not our fault, though. Like, everyone's like, oh, man, movie industry's going to shit. And then it's like, yeah, that's their fault. It's like they keep making bad movies and people aren't even going to see them if they're bad movies.
Why? In what dreamland does spending $100 million on a Ben-Hur remake that nobody really wanted to see, and then not casting any stars outside of Morgan Freeman and dreadlocks in a supporting role?
I don't even know who this other guy is.
He was the star of Unbroken. And that's the only other movie I've seen him in.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, not very many people saw it. He's not that charismatic. He's kind of got like a higher pitched voice. He's not Charlton Heston.
See, I think this might have started out as one of those, like, we have to make a product so we can hang on to the rights a little bit longer. And then it accidentally, like, careened out of control. And then all of a sudden Morgan Freeman's on board. Like, and
I
then,
like that description.
Yeah, and then Morgan Freeman's like, yeah, I'll be God, don't worry. And then, after that, $100 million later.
After I don't know how many shows we've done. One of these shows, I'm just going to spit coffee all over the mic. I swear.
And it won't be on video now.
Well, no, it doesn't.
Maybe you'll see some splat on Mel Gibson. But
well, so I guess what I'm thinking though is like you've got like that Jason Bourne movie didn't really do great business. Star Trek 3 didn't really do great business. Ben-Hur, it made like $10 million this weekend.
That's bad.
Terrible.
That's like really bad.
They're not gonna make any money off of it. But at the same time, like, when did it ever make any sense to do that? Like, okay, even like Star Trek, I kind of get that they made some money off the other ones, right? Okay, whatever.
Star Trek has like a bigger cultural significance, I think. More of a rabid fan base than Ben-Hur.
It didn't really make any money though. This one
never really has. I mean, Star Trek's always seemed
the JJ ones did.
Really? Okay.
They made
that's kind of
400 to 500 million.
Okay.
This one is struggling to make 300 million, and they spent 180 million to make it.
Jesus.
Yeah, I agree. I went to see it.
You saw Star Trek?
Yeah, I was bored, and I was like.
Yeah, I had that same problem. I'm like, I'm not going to go see Star Trek. And it's like, I'm not going to go see Sausage Party because it sounds bad. They even missed the one opportunity to call it Sausage Fest, which is the proper term for a sausage party.
You know what? You're right.
I don't understand that.
Something hasn't made sense to me the whole time about it, and that's exactly what it is. That's my trepidation.
Bothers me so much for some reason. It's like, you can't even get your own slang right for your movie titles. Sorry, but how bad?
Why in the world would they not call it Sausage Fest?
I know. You think that'd be like the name, but it's not. And it's like
I listened to Mark Maron talk to Kristen Wiig about it last week, and you could tell. Okay, so he's a big fan of a lot of Kristen Wiig's smaller movies.
Okay,
she was there to talk Sausage Fest or Sausage Party. Now I got it stuck in my head, and he clearly was like, "Yeah, I saw the sausage movie, saw Sausage Festival." Like he tried to go back and be nice, but he couldn't remember what it was called. You can tell he just was turned off. Like some animated movie about sausages.
I was watching him he was on at midnight one night. It was like the one time I actually watched it, and he won like a PS4 game or something, and he's just like, cool, it's like, it's great.
He's not gonna play that.
He just doesn't care. He's like.
He's funny when they make him, like, sometimes his sponsors, I remember they made him plug Star Wars, the new Star Wars movie. He's like, yeah, the Empire's back, and they have to be stopped. Get your tickets here.
Did you ever watch Comedy Bang Bang?
I think I've seen one or two episodes. I had IFC very briefly.
It's an okay, like, anti-humor kind of talk show thing. The Anna Kendrick one's funny, but then there's one where Harrison Ford's going to be on the show, and Harrison Ford never shows up, but John Ralphio comes in, and he's like, "Hey, what's up, everybody?" You know, and they're like, "Where's Harrison Ford?" You know, he's like, "Oh no, you know, I'm his publicist. You know, I'll just talk for him." You know, and then
That's kind of funny.
they're like, "Oh yeah, you know, what was Star Wars like?" He's like, oh, "He's in Star Wars." Like he gets all like, excited about it.
The uneducated, uninformed publicist.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Right.
so Star Trek anyway.
Yeah.
Basically, I really. It's like watching just a bland episode of the old Star Trek show on TV, which in some respects I can see why the hardcore Trek people are like, yeah, this is what we wanted all along, and I'm kind of just like, okay.
But weren't they mad about this one more than the other ones?
No, I think they liked this one pretty much.
Okay.
I think they were basically like, yeah, this is kind of what we wanted. It's all right.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, I guess it was not terrible or anything. I just was never really in that invested.
Was it just super average? Like,
yeah.
Just kind of like, all right. You know?
Well, Simon Pegg wrote it.
Oh, okay.
And I do think he's a good writer. I think I'm not that into the whole Trek thing. I will say, as far as the actual like the original series goes, I really don't mind like every once in a while watching one or two of them. I think they're kind of fun in like that Twilight Zone way.
Yeah.
These ones, if they would even just bring back the Twilight Zone type of music and slow photography, I think I'd like them more. But I get why they don't. But it was all right. I mean, whatever. I don't even have like a review for you. It's just like
it was okay.
Yeah, I sat there.
Yep, that's a movie.
It wasn't terrible.
You know?
I guess I won't ever try to watch it again. I really thought that I've seen all three of these new ones. I don't know why. The second one,
almost in that boat. I'm like,
that second one was bad though.
It's so bad.
That was like
he's not Khan. He's a totally new, unique villain.
He's Ringo Starr. He's not Khan.
Yeah.
He's Khan. Yeah. Well, it just didn't matter. I think that's what's annoying about that one. Is like, him being Khan does not mean anything in their reboot universe.
I'm still annoyed by that. Oh, we're just gonna bring Kirk back to life, you know. And it's like, don't worry, guys.
Combined Star Trek 2 and 3, the original ones, and they're trying to do that. And then I kind of like Wrath of Khan. But yeah, anyway, so I forget we're getting all into that, but basically, there's a new big movie coming out every week, and very few of them actually make any money. And it seems like this year nobody's really liking any of the movies. Is that the sense you're getting?
They're not even fun anymore is the problem.
But usually people actually like them. I mean, like, people liked Civil War, it seemed. I don't know why. People seem to enjoy it.
Everyone's still on the Avengers train, I think.
But last year they weren't. Last year they were like, Avengers Ultron was terrible.
Oh, that was terrible.
But this year, was Civil War really any better than Ultron?
It was not. It was pretty much the same thing. Wasn't it? I'm trying to think. Maybe that's the problem is I don't even remember them anymore. Like, I feel like I remember, like, the major plot points from all of them, if you want to call them that. But, like, everything else kind of just gets blurred. Well, like, into, like, the Avengers chilling on their couch. Like, which seems to happen a lot in these movies.
Do you think maybe that is part of the appeal of them? Cause
I mean, it's just a sugar rush for these people where it's, you know... It's
well, even just, like, critically, Marvel movies get good reviews. DC movies get terrible reviews. I get why DC movies get terrible reviews, but I feel like people say the same complaints about Marvel movies, but they're like, yeah, the plot didn't really make any sense, but I still liked it.
I think it's just they kind of managed to strike that balance of being at least like entertaining, even if they're not good.
Is it entertaining or
sometimes
just harmless?
Like,
just like
probably just the harmless. It's probably just that they can take their kids to it and they don't have to worry about.
Yeah. It's like DC seems to not want you to be able to take your kids to it.
No.
But they're not making movies that are interesting to a functioning adult, really.
They're trying too hard to be, you know, Marvel without being Marvel, which is Marvel's whole thing. You know?
Dark and edgy Marvel.
Yeah.
Well, what's the next DC one? Justice League? Or is Wonder Woman?
Is Wonder Woman next?
I think Wonder Woman's next.
I don't even know. They announce all these movies like 20 years in advance now, and then it's like, I don't even care.
It's supposed to make you anticipate them, but... I just don't really... I mean, I will check what's playing at film streams.
I feel like that's the problem, though, is everyone's anticipating it for, you know, like 5 years. So everyone has, like, their own... You know, they figured out what they think the movie's going to be, and then it's never going to be that, you know, and then... I don't know.
But they like the Marvel. They like the Marvel. They like the Marvel, these people.
I don't think we'll ever figure it out, Tom. I don't think we're, like, the target group.
No, we're not.
So it's like, you know, we can't comprehend The Rock... Or The Rock can't comprehend us, and then like you know, and then we're just like, well,
that's hilarious. Well, I'm just. It seems like we're getting to a point where you're going to see more problems arising from the fact that studios can't keep having $100 million+ movies coming out every week, and then like 2 of them make money.
Well, they can because they take that $100 million that they're given and they throw it at their own companies to make the movie, so then they still have the money.
But
and then it's like,
you're not making the same kind of profits. It doesn't look good. Like, well, Ben-Hur, I don't know if you're going to make make the money off
No.
that. $10 million. I mean,
yeah, that's like surprisingly bad.
I guess the question I want to get at here is could this possibly, in a very optimistic sense, be a precursor to studios re-examining maybe the fact that it's not a good idea to have a tent pole out every week and actually have a tent pole be like there's 4 big movies a year, and instead go back to trying to make smaller movies that can actually make a legitimate profit on paper?
I think it's okay to dream.
Doesn't that just make more fiscal sense?
It does, but
I mean if you make a $30 million movie that makes $100 million, then you're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
If you make a $100 million movie that makes $10 million, you have problems.
I think they'd go overboard, and they'd, instead of making one $100 million movie, they'd make $10 million movies.
That'd be fine.
No, because then they're going to flood the market.
With they're going to
flood. Yeah, they'll flood it.
That's okay.
Then there'll be 10 movies out every week.
$10 million movies are not all going to be the same movie, though.
But then no one's going to go see 10 different movies. Everyone's just going to go pick one. Then it's all going to go to that one $10 million movie, and then it's just,
But they'll keep seeing that some $10 million movies, enough $10 million movies will be
and
profitable.
then they'll give it $50 million, and then they'll give it $100 million.
It's just the cycle.
And then, then it goes over and over.
But
and over.
I like the start of that cycle. The start of that cycle is the exciting part.
We just gotta wait. Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, maybe eventually it'll swing back around. But
when we get to that. The thing is, because if you've got $10 million, the studio doesn't really care that much.
I was going to say, is $10 million even that much to these people anymore?
No, that's a small budget. They'd give that to a filmmaker, be like, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's where I'm like, if you make 10 of those are going to be the interesting ones. You're going to have something interesting to watch every week.
Yeah.
Instead of a Star Trek movie that nobody really asked for, nobody really likes the series, and nobody cares. They're like, yes, it was perfunctory. Yeah. Congratulations. I don't know. I want the Renaissance.
Apparently they're doing another Star Trek TV show.
I've heard about that, but I'm just not enough of a Star Trek guy to care. I don't think.
I probably won't watch it.
No. I don't know. I think they're planning to do a sequel it's like an anthology series in Star Trek's universe or galaxy or whatever.
Oh, so like the Rogue One type thing where it's not.
I think so.
So they do like Deep Space Nine and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think like this one would be before the original series even or something. It's like a prequel without any of the characters.
But isn't the new series the original series because they time traveled?
It's a reboot.
They couldn't come up with a new.
It's a reboot prequel though.
But
no, the movie series is a reboot prequel because they travel back in time, but it is the same people and part of the same universe, but they go back to a different timeline of that same universe.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna worry about it. Okay. Yeah, I heard something about a prequel, but I didn't realize it was anything that ridiculous. But
did you ever watch The Nightly Show?
No. Was this Larry Wilmore who's gone now?
Yeah.
No.
It's canceled.
That's okay.
I
think I saw like 5 minutes once. And
that's a good reaction.
It's like
that's okay.
I mean, it's not Trevor Noah getting canceled, so I mean
that would be cool.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen.
Well, so basically, I'd watched. I think Larry Wilmore was kind of funny when he would do his correspondent things. He was their senior black correspondent.
Okay.
And he was in character. It was more like when Colbert would be in character, kind of to get his points across. And then I felt the Nightly Show was kind of more of like he has a couple jokes, but it's more just like an acknowledgement that yes, he agrees with the progressive stance on every issue, and he didn't seem like he was trying that hard to be funny about it.
He was just kind of being a jerk and whining about all these things instead of like.
It was kind of just like you're like yeah, like you're like yeah, that's right, yeah, I agree, like that makes sense, but where's the jokes? Why isn't it funny? And then he would do he would have a roundtable discussion every episode, which would be like 6 minutes long, and you'd have comedians on with occasional experts on things, and everyone would just kind of like talk over each other, and it was never particularly informative or entertaining or funny. And it was like, I feel like you could do the roundtable discussion on politics and have that be funny. Like that seems like that should be better because like Bill Maher does that, but Bill Maher is kind of a jerk. I don't know that I really like Bill Maher that much.
Bill Maher.
So I don't know, but then. So it got canceled, and I feel like that was fair because they had a year and a half, and no one really cared.
Everyone flipped out though.
Well,
because you can't cancel a TV show if the talk show host is black anymore.
He went on like 500 different well-regarded avenues to do interviews about his cancellation when he heard it was canceled. So he goes on, and he must have requested these interviews because he had the exact same talking points in every single interview. I read like 2 or 3 just out of curiosity. I was like, oh, I'm kind of curious. I wonder what he has to say about it. And I noticed. I kept thinking to myself, is this the same interview? Am I reading the same one I already read? And I was like, no, it's a different. He's slightly different variations on the exact same talking points. And so I clicked on a bunch of them, and they're all the same thing. So he wanted to get these points across.
Or if it was just like a big group interview.
Well, no. This was strategic on his part to make Comedy Central look bad in a passive aggressive kind of way.
Which, I mean, they don't really look good anymore either. So I mean, I don't know.
But canceling his show for nobody caring and it not making any money for him is not a. That's
just the normal thing. That's what happens on TV stations.
Yeah. But he goes on and he's complaining basically about. He brings some race into it, which I don't know at this point. You don't know, like they could replace him with another black guy. It doesn't. You don't really know at this point. Whatever. It wasn't because he was black. I don't think he's kind of addressing that. But the main thing, he keeps repeating that he really, really thought that he was going to be able to go to the end of the election, and he's like, I really thought we'd get 3 more months. Yada yada yada. And every single interview is going on and on and on about that.
He was probably just hoping he finally had something to make jokes about. Which, I mean, if you haven't been able to make jokes about the situation until like the last 3 months, then
in this election cycle, you've had a year of material.
Plenty of jokes. Yeah,
so much material. That's like the satire is the news. It's not even like
you can't even tell which one's which anymore. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
The Onion is less ridiculous than turning on the actual news right now.
Oh man,
it's So I really don't have sympathy for him about his going around being a crybaby in interviews about it all, but. He was funny as a correspondent, and he might be like funny as a comic.
Which that happens with a lot of people. A lot of times they can't carry a show on their own, but they can do good, for that 5-10 minutes that they have on whatever show they're on. And sometimes it doesn't work throwing them up to that full.
Absolutely. I think like John Oliver made everyone think that they could all be stars because he happened to be really good at it.
But he can rant forever though. And
he's
so good at it too. I don't get it.
He's very informative, he's very passionate, and he's very entertaining all at the same time.
Yeah.
And that is tough.
Combo.
That's really tough.
Super hard.
And whereas Larry Wilmore didn't quite do any of those. It was okay. I don't know. I think Sam B's show is pretty good. She's a little too energetic though. She needs to sit behind your desk and calm down a little bit. I think it'll be a lot better if she slows down just slightly. I think I'd like her show more. I think she's more in the style of what Jon Stewart was doing.
Okay.
Whereas John Oliver is doing his own thing.
I don't know. I don't watch cable that much anymore.
I don't either. I just see some of these. I we'll look on YouTube occasionally, or I have HBO, but Sam B's on TBS.
I've watched a few John Oliver rants.
John Oliver's good.
Those are fun.
I think he's the best one currently doing it. And Trevor Noah, I don't know. They're just not funny. I think it's not that informative or that funny.
I still can't stand the way he talks. He kind of talks under his voice whenever he starts talking to all these people he's interviewing, and he does that thing and he tries to make it sound all serious, and then he tries to make a joke, and it's just
I hate Trevor Noah's way of speaking.
Well, yeah, he speaks annoyingly, and when you're on, a talk show, the way you talk is kind of important.
That is true. Yeah. I wonder, do you think people say that about us? I don't know what.
So I'm sure some people do.
Yeah, because our numbers aren't good right now.
No,
we've nosedived.
Oh Jesus, is that why you haven't been telling me the numbers recently?
Yeah, because we were doing well. We were climbing, and then we had our technical difficulties for 2 or 3 weeks, and then we were both off for a week or so, and then we just nothing in the meantime. So. This is our fourth.
We've got Mel Gibson on the show though, so that should bring us some viewership.
I'm gonna try this instead.
I need to get her in focus a little bit.
I think what I've learned is that attempting to. Why don't we just go to a break? You can focus it during a break. We'll talk for a second here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I've tried to do clickbait essentially because
maybe that's why everyone's ignoring it though. Because isn't your response normally to ignore clickbait when you see clickbait? So it's kind of.
But YouTube is a a delicate beast of uncultured people. I think
it's Mad Max.
It's we're trying. It's like we're trying to make a show for all the the weird looking pale people, and I don't know how to reach one of those guys. Yeah. I don't know what they want.
We're not crazy enough yet.
I don't think we. Yeah, I don't know that. I think
we're too normal for the YouTube demographic.
Yeah. Can we reach a YouTube audience?
Is that the older audience? I mean, it's
there's not an old YouTube audience.
There kind of is. I mean, if my mom can run a successful YouTube channel, I think that we should be able to do it too.
But I just don't know if YouTube's the medium that those people are gonna look for our show on.
We belong on NPR. It's kind of my determination.
I think we'll get there.
What I've realized from listening to
there's 2 shows that are on the KIOS Omaha public radio station.
I hear them say Omaha every once in a while, and I'm always surprised whenever it's actually during one of their shows and not just their little hourly check-in thing.
Yeah, every once in a while there's an Omaha show, but they really don't have much. Yeah. So if we want to take over, it seems doable.
You just walk in and go, hey,
There's really no competition here, so But we're trying this whole animal thing now, so we'll see how that goes.
Different week, different animal.
Different week, different animal. This is Mel Gibson.
Yeah, she is my Kenyan sand boa.
You got Mel Gibson.
Gibson.
All right, let's go to a break. We'll be right back.
And Mel's back. There she is.
And Mel's back.
Yeah. Miss Gibson.
Miss Gibson.
Melanie Gibson.
Melania Gibson.
Oh, look at her go. Okay.
So the Olympics are happening.
Are they?
Are they over?
I don't know. There was something on Facebook, and it was like, "Oh, congratulations to all of our Olympic athletes."
Must be a cop chase going on.
That sounds fun.
You know,
I heard that.
I saw a cop chasing a car through the huge roundabout over there.
Jeez, that's awesome.
It was
Yeah.
They drove off.
That's such an obnoxious like roundabout too. Like it's like a weird potato like loop shape. Oh, I bet.
They call it the potato. Or the peanut, I think.
Peanut? I call it potato. But yeah, everyone.
I call it the potato, but I think it's officially called the peanut.
Officially peanut.
The city calls it the peanut.
The peanut.
The peanut.
I think my favorite's like the 5-way weird like every. It's an all-way stop, but there's like 7 different ways you can go.
Oh, I hate that.
And so like everybody happens to pull up at the exact same time, and no one knows who to go first.
Everyone almost hits everybody else.
Yeah, and like no 2 pairs of cars can go at the same time, so everyone just kind of like.
That needs a roundabout.
It's so messed up.
It'd be better with a roundabout.
Oh, yeah. That's what that was for. That's what like why
that is roundabout.
That's like that's
setup, yeah.
That's what they're made for.
But
the Olympics.
Yeah, so
I don't know.
We're out of stuff to talk about the Olympics already, aren't we?
I haven't watched any of it. The water turned green at one point. I heard about that.
Someone poured a bunch of hydrogen peroxide in.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
Can you swim in hydrogen peroxide?
God. You probably can, but I don't think it's recommended.
Like, it's not on the bottles.
Yeah.
Do not swim.
Yeah, not for swimming.
Can be harmful if swam.
Which I don't know what kind of idiot. I mean, I guess it's Rio. Rio's...
What?
Rio's kind of a mess, dude. Like, it's one of those places like you just don't go to. It's kind of like Honduras. It's kind of, it's like you can go there, but you're going to get robbed.
Would you go to Rio if you got invited to go be on the Olympics?
Yes, because the Olympic Village is kind of like they have that kind of walled off from the rest of Rio. Is kind of the way I've heard it described. Is like
Mexico pay for it?
No, Rio's not Mexico, but whatever. Yeah.
It's a wall.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I got it.
I understand where
called the Chinese for their wall building tips, and then it's I mean, I'd go for that part because I've heard as long as you stay on like the protected zones, it's pretty dang nice. But of course, it's only going to be nice until it's over. Yeah, just don't go swimming, and you're not supposed to go swimming in the Gulf either.
Don't breathe the air.
It's just all trash.
Don't drink the water. Don't eat the food. Then you're good.
Yeah, I remember hearing about all the canoeing people. They have to swim. They're not swim. They have to boat through like all this trash and gunk and crap like that because they couldn't clean out the river or the lake in time or however it works.
Well, my understanding is they promised to do that, and then they couldn't manage their government budgets, so they just spent all the money and didn't have any money to clean it up anymore. I'm
a little surprised that I think Russia managed to hold it together a little bit better than Rio did. Because all I heard like during the Russian Olympics was just the hotel sucks. It was kind of like all the complaints.
If that's what you walk out.
Wow, this hotel is so cheap. Wow, I need 10-star living arrangements for my Olympic body. And then it's like,
I'd love to. I need 10-star.
Complaining to the hotel manager, and the Russian guy is just like,
for my luscious Olympic body.
We don't have doors. And it's just like, no more door, no door. But
no door for you.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't sound that great. Do you think that one guy actually got robbed, or do you think he's making it up?
It sounds like he's lying.
Yeah,
sounds like everyone's like.
But at the same time, they're all trashed in Rio. I mean, I don't know. The original story sounded a little bit weirder than.
Well,
turned into.
I don't know. I don't really know the whole story.
Man.
What I heard was that he got robbed, and then he lied about getting robbed, and I don't know what the details are. But
I heard he said he got robbed at gunpoint, but then it turned into like they were people posing as cops, which is pretty common in places like Rio.
What?
It is.
Okay.
Because if you look like a cop, you're less likely to get messed with, especially if you're messing with somebody else.
Look like a cop meaning you're wearing a uniform?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, I don't know. I don't remember the rest.
Well, that's fair. That's a fair reason to think somebody's a cop.
Okay. But, I mean, especially when you aren't familiar with different countries, like,
Picture Will Forget in a cop outfit.
Trying to rob people.
Hey, guys.
Give me all your,
Give me your wallet. Your wallet's under, it's evidence.
You got your passport?
In Rio. Picture him in Rio. Hola.
Hola, amigo.
Como está tu...
Do they speak Spanish in Rio? Or what's the?
Is that Portuguese?
It might be
Brazil.
Portuguese. I don't know. Yeah,
touche.
I mean, it's pretty dang close, but I mean,
the same thing.
But it's very close, very similar languages.
I don't know Portuguese. I don't have ever heard anybody speak Portuguese.
I had a Spanish class with someone who was from Portugal, and she was just like, "This really sucks because I like all the words are the same, but like there's just like different like endings and like the occasional different vowel."
Oh, so it's probably easy.
Like, well, no, it was very difficult because she'd just like by habit just try to write Portuguese, or it's like she'd forget that like it's like you have to remember it's like 2 English words, but like one has just like one. It's like if you were taking one has one different letter essentially.
It's like if you were taking an ebonics class.
Yeah,
it's slightly different.
No, you just drop a bunch of letters. That's you just spell everything wrong.
That's what it sounds like to me. Spanish or Portuguese is the eloquent one. The dictionary one of Spanish or something.
It's just foreign, so everyone thinks it's higher class.
Right. It's not how everything is when you don't speak it. I feel like. Especially if it's not similar. Like, it probably for them, like, one of them probably always seems like, oh, they're just like the hillbillies messing up our language. But then, because if it's similar enough like that. I forget where I was going. I was going somewhere with this whole Portuguese-Brazil thing. I don't know. I lost it, though.
Speaking of the Olympics, I had a random thought earlier today about the Olympics. And I was thinking, like, with some of these smaller events, like javelin and stuff, like, I'm wondering if, like, they're probably not even like the best in the world or anything. It's just that like no one else wants to do it. Yeah, like no one else like really cared to do it.
I don't want to go to.
I'm sure like, I thought about that. Like there was someone throwing a javelin, and I'm like, it's like.
Are you really the best?
I was like, I was like, what a strange sport. It's like who it's like I'm gonna run out here and throw a javelin. That's gonna be an Olympic sport. Like it's probably just one of those like
some kid goes to high school like they're good at the javelin and track or whatever, and the coach is like, "You're going to the Olympics, son."
I was like, where do these people come from? We do like these specific like really strange sports, and then
where do they have the tryouts for javelin?
Yeah, a lot of track and field, I guess. If you go to a cool school.
Cool school.
Or
where do they do like the Olympic tryouts officially for
I don't know.
for javelin?
See, they just seem to like show up. They come out of nowhere.
I saw handball. I've never seen handball before.
What's handball?
It's like football meets soccer.
Oh,
no, it's not. It's like
football meets rugby.
It's like it's like soccer meets basketball. Is what I meant to say. So they like
it's like Quidditch.
They touch. It's like Quidditch. Yeah, it's basically just Quidditch.
But whenever I had my, I guess I could say that. I mean, I can talk about past criminal offenses, not a criminal offense, but whenever I
dug yourself a hole, do whatever you do.
I had to take like a first offender class for something, and one of the guys.
The actual thing is a lot worse than you make it sound.
I didn't even get charged, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, but they were going to think this is much worse.
I had to go to a DUI first offender class for reckless driving. And like everyone else in there like was like, oh yeah, I crashed my car, and I'm like, oh hey, I did that once, But this one guy, like, we're talking about ourselves, and he's like, yeah, I'm the head coach and like the regional manager for like the national Quidditch like league or something like that.
I think I've heard about this.
Yeah, apparently it's like an actual official thing.
But what do they do?
They play Quidditch. It sounds like handball. Like you have a fake, you run around with a broomstick in one hand. And then you run around.
You hold it?
Yeah, you gotta run around with a broomstick.
You don't even have it between your legs?
Yeah, you gotta hold it between your legs and run with it. I know, it's so lame. And he's like, yeah, it's this great sport, because anybody can play it. It's like, it doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is or anything. It's like, it's very inclusive. He's like, it's very inclusive, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Is he trying to say that I think you're gay? Why don't you come play Quidditch with me?
He say this like the whole group. Like, this is like we had to go around the group and like say like what we did, and it was like his thing.
So it's like a gay club.
Essentially is what it is.
It sounds like.
Like everyone, yeah. It's like we're all gay, we play Quidditch. It's like, oh, okay,
You
grasp your broomstick with one hand and then the ball with the other. It was very strange. That is strange. I felt pretty normal that day.
That is not on the Olympics, at least.
No, it's not. Soon it will be, yeah. Right.
So we can probably close the book on that because we don't even know when the Olympics happened or what's going on.
I don't even know what's left. Phelps swam, so everyone stopped caring, I think is what happened.
Do people like the swimming?
They like it because Phelps swims and he wins. So
he won, yeah.
Which I guess he's done now, I think. He's retiring.
I feel like they say that every time. Every race, they're like, the end of this great career.
Or was it Usain Bolt's retiring? He's retiring. I'm pretty sure he's retiring. Everyone's retiring.
I've heard his name. He runs?
Yes, he runs very fast.
Okay,
he's like Jamaican.
All right.
Well, it matters in the Olympics, and we're representing their country. So I feel like
go Jamaica.
Yeah,
Congratulations, Jamaica.
He's the Jamaican runner. Yeah, he's super quick.
Definitely an earned thing for Jamaica.
Oh man,
good job.
Running real quick.
Now you saw some Amazon pilots.
I saw one. I saw like the first quarter of one.
Explain to me how they do that. They just put out all the pilots they commissioned for the season,
and then you vote.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's actually pretty neat.
Does anyone do it?
I don't know.
I
didn't vote.
So the democracy's failing.
I think democracy's just like a pipe dream. It's like we all want to think that everyone votes matters, but then it really doesn't. None of us want to vote to begin with.
Everyone's like, yeah, that's cool. I didn't vote, but it's nice. Nice that I could have.
It's a good option to have. But no, I wasn't really impressed with the pilot that I watched, which was really sad because I really wanted to be impressed because I have a very nostalgic feelings towards the series that they're rebooting with this pilot.
What is it?
The Tick.
Oh,
I know. Okay. See, you're like, oh, cool, The Tick, you know. And then strike number one for me was it starts off with some narration, and it's not Patrick Warburton.
Who is it? Do we know?
I don't remember. I think they're a bunch of nobodies.
Oh, it's Peter Serafinowicz.
I don't know who that is.
He was in Shaun of the Dead and a few other movies.
I watched like the first couple minutes, and I didn't even get to like where the Tick shows up. So maybe it was just. I don't know.
Oh, you didn't get very far at all?
No, not very far. And I was not impressed. It was boring.
Who directed this?
I don't know.
This Tick thing. This Tick reboot.
But I don't know. It sounds like it's trying too hard to, I don't know, appeal to, I don't know. I guess the nerds that would be into the Tick. But at the same time, it feels
forced. One of those nerds.
I know, but it doesn't work for me because it's all like, ooh, like they start off with a bunch of conspiracy theory stuff.
Oh, Wally Pfister directed it? What?
Who's Wally Pfister?
He was Christopher Nolan's cinematographer back in the heyday of all the Batman movies.
Oh, man, yeah.
And then he directed this movie called...
Paul McCartney, my Valentine.
Transcendence, I think it's called. Yeah, Transcendence, which was Johnny Depp is a brilliant...
Oh, yeah, he turns himself into the computer.
Yeah, and it was terrible.
It looked awful.
Absolutely horrible movie.
I know that name.
That's not the guy I would get to direct The Tick, I have to say.
Well, yeah, like it started off like too serious. Like,
yes,
you know what I mean?
There was
like,
no humor in Transcendence at all.
Well, and yeah, and it's like, you know, the Moth. Was it the Moth? Is that his name? I'm pretty sure it's the Moth. Yeah, his name's Arthur. His character's name. But yeah, he's like obsessed with some conspiracy theories about how like the mayor of their town is actually the supervillain who got blown up but faked his death. And I don't know, and it's all like, I don't know. It wasn't clicking for me.
No click.
Like, you know, like the Tick's supposed to be pretty silly. It's just supposed to be goofball,
but this
comedy
was serious?
Superhero spoof, and it seemed serious at first, and it just didn't work. It just didn't sit well with me.
And you didn't make it very far before you were like,
I was just like,
well, so you didn't vote though because you've only watched a portion of one pilot.
Yes, I'll probably sit down and watch the other ones at some point. Like, I didn't even like see what other ones there were because I saw the Tick. And I'm like, yes, you know, I was like, yeah. Which I mean, like the pilot for the not even the original Tick series, but like the original live action one. Like, it starts with the Tick, he comes into town on a bus, you know, and it's just, you know, it's kind of funny.
That's funny already.
Yeah, you've got Patrick Warburton in the big blue Tick suit getting off a bus, you know, and he beats up a coffee machine because he wants some coffee and it's not working. And that's like his first victory in this new town is he, like, beats up a coffee machine.
Patrick Warburton doing anything is pretty funny, though.
And so it's kind of hard to beat that, you know, and then this one just didn't work.
Wally Pfister, how did he get that gig?
How do you get that name? That's a pretty fantastic name.
Wally Pfister?
Wally Pfister.
Oh, it'd be Walter Pfister?
Mr. Pfister.
I hadn't thought about it like that. But you're right. That is kind of funny.
That's probably why he goes with Wally, so no one says Mr. They just want to say Wally.
Mr. Walter Pfister? Yeah, I don't know. So you'll have to let me know if you watch more of those and where you end up on all that. That's interesting. That's definitely not where I thought that was going. I watched Mr. Robot Season 1 on Amazon Prime.
How is that?
Well, okay, let me ask you first off.
I have no idea what it's about.
If I were to tell you that it is secretly an adaptation of a book, a beloved book and a beloved movie, like...
Is this something that I would have seen?
Yeah, you know it.
Really?
And it's very, very thinly veiled. So at the beginning...
I'm trying to figure it out.
I was like...
guesses that
like, it's kind of like this movie / book. And then... as it goes on, it's more and more just like, oh, it is that
I've
movie
seen it
/
and read both?
Yeah.
Really? Are you sure?
That narrows it down for you.
Oh, man. I know. I'm trying to think now. Like,
well, can I say it? Is it?
Yeah, go for it.
It's Fight Club.
Really? That was like my third guess.
It is, it is Fight Club.
Interesting.
It is an updated contemporary Fight Club.
Weird. Which, I mean, Fight Club isn't really that, like, out of date even. I mean,
no, but this is Fight Club in the hacker era, basically. Yeah. But, like, you'll watch it and, like, I was thinking, like, okay, because in the first episode... you've got, his name's Elliot. He's like this sort of antisocial, very introverted guy who has all these observations and monologues in his head about life
Okay.
and the mundane things and the behavior that drives us all, just like Edward Norton does. It's kind of in that same monotonous
Is it the same
voiceover
kind of
style.
like social anarchist kind of thing where he's kind of like
Then, he slowly starts to become involved in an underground society that plans to wipe the debt record clean by hacking into credit card companies and doing all that. So that's all in the first episode, and I'm kind of like, oh, so it's like kind of like Fight Club, but more about what would the ending of Fight Club be like if you had that as a series.
Okay.
And then it gets into like all the rest of the plot of Fight Club,
Okay.
and that's all going on. And I won't spoil exactly how that all plays out, but
Brad Pitt shows up, and then it's just
no, but
it's
you'll
clear
figure it out. But I mean, I don't know. Does Chuck Palahniuk know that USA remade Fight Club and has been telling everyone it's this absolutely original,
He's
crazy
probably
series?
too distracted with Fight Club 2.
I bet this is better than Fight Club 2.
I saw Fight Club 2 at Half Price Books, and I was almost tempted to buy it.
I did the same thing.
Really? It was on a little end cap, but I'm like, like it was all wrapped up and everything, and I'm like, it means it's fresh, and it's just like
untouched.
Yeah.
I thought about it. I looked at it. I picked it up even, and I was like,
I do that with like every Palahniuk book that I see. There, like I pick it up and you roll it over in your hands. You're just like maybe, and then you put it back, and then
I'll pick it up on clearance someday,
Right,
unless somebody reads it and tells me it's fantastic.
I was so pissed because I have a shitty paperback version of Gone Girl, and I was there the other day, and they have all these nice hardcover ones on like their $2.
Sometimes I buy the hardcover.
rack. Yeah, and I was like,
I'll just replace the one I have.
I thought about that, but I was like, but I should spend money on other books instead. And then,
If it's clearance and it's a hardcover book I have, and I like the hardcover more, I'll buy the hardcover. Just replace it.
Right, I like the hardcover better.
It's just easier.
Yeah, it's it's cool. It feels more sturdy.
Yeah, I like how this has turned into a discussion on hardcover books.
It's just kind of how the show goes. Shaving cream.
But no, Mr. Robot is a good show.
Really? Okay.
I'll give it that. It is. If you told me that they were remaking Fight Club, automatically I'm like, oh, why?
No.
But it's well done. It's creative. It's got a really cool visual style. I get the sense that they don't have a huge budget, but they do have fantastic cameras. So basically, what they do is there's not a lot of equipment. There's not a lot of there's sort of minimal moving shots, but they make it as stylized as they can.
Okay.
And it's cool looking, and it's got a fun pace, fun synth soundtrack.
That's good.
The Fight Club story is just kind of fun, and so you're kind of following along that, and it goes to some unexpected places. There was only one episode in season 1 that I really was not on board with because it turns into the hacker Breaking Bad for an episode.
Yes.
And I was like, I don't know if I'm
Jesse was got to hack.
It's kind of like, I was like, I don't know. But otherwise, solid first season. I enjoyed it. I will check out season 2. And it's interesting that there is a secret Fight Club remake out there that nobody seems to quite acknowledge. Everyone's kind of
I've heard very minuscule bits and snippets about the show. Just that it's a good show.
Snippets and
Snippets and snaps,
spouts.
Yeah, but I don't know. I've just heard that I should watch it. I knew nothing about the plot, and then
I wonder if people are afraid of spoiling the fact that it's Fight Club because once you realize it's Fight Club,
you're not supposed to talk about it. Tom.
Well,
That's there are 2 whole rules devoted to that.
It's. Surely people understand that it is at a certain point all the beats of Fight Club have played out on the show. But I don't know. But I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I just saw it was on Prime, so I was like,
might as well watch it.
I finished the script for the new movie, so I was like, I'm not going to work on that.
I haven't read the script yet.
And no one has.
I'm sorry.
I've got no feedback at all from anyone. This is. I feel like everyone's just like, it's probably good.
Yeah, that's better though.
Well,
almost because then
I don't know.
What if they will forge it and show up not knowing the script then?
No, I think the actors will, but because I've approached. There's a few actors who are on. They're on board now, and literally I sent them over the script. Was like, here's the script. Here's kind of what I'm thinking. Let me know if you've read it. They're like, yes, I'll do it. Okay. Nobody has actually read it before agreeing to do it so far.
They just agree as soon as you send it.
I think we must have some credibility among the local scene now because it's easier than it should be at this point. Except the lead, I'm still waiting to hear back from the lead. But anyway, so Mr. Robot, that's my review.
Okay.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. All right.
Looking forward to that. I watched the pilot of Penny Dreadful last night. Are you familiar with Penny Dreadful?
It's on Netflix, isn't it?
I figured out after I paid to watch the pilot on Amazon.
It's on Netflix.
I looked it up because I was like, I wonder where this do people like this show? And then it was on Netflix now. I was like, oh, great. But
because I was flipping through last night and I saw it, but I didn't watch it.
Well, so it's well, okay. So spoiler for everybody.
Uh-oh.
You and I are the only 2 people in the whole world who have some affection for that terrible Van Helsing movie.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's not good.
It's that.
Because it is. So it's combining in the first episode anyway. You've got elements of Frankenstein, Dracula, the Mummy, and maybe the Wolfman in there too. I don't know.
Did you ever see the new terrible Wolfman movie?
With Benicio del Toro?
I think so, yeah.
You know, I watched like 10 minutes of it.
So
I was flipping through channels back when I had cable, and I think I watched like 10 minutes of it on Sci-Fi, and I was like, I couldn't remember who all was in it. So I was like, there was no Wolfman stuff going on. I think it was just like a bunch of Emily Blunt doing stuff in like her Victorian gear. Yeah. So I was like, oh, this is interesting, some new Emily Blunt movie. And then at some point, like the Wolfman pops out. I was like, oh
no.
So, did you watch it?
What?
The movie, The Wolfman?
Yeah, like forever. Like when it came out.
Was it
so bad?
As bad as
it's really boring. It's kind of like, I'm the Wolfman.
Hey guys, I'm a Wolfman.
So
now.
I guess I'm the Wolf now.
Louis C.K.
Yeah.
I guess I'm a Wolfman now.
He was in town recently. I didn't get to go see him.
I saw. Yeah, some people seem to go on Facebook. I see that they went.
Yeah. That's pretty much the same to too. I was like, hey, Louis.
So,
but yeah, Penny Dreadful's okay, average.
It was fun.
Okay.
Not aspiring to great heights, I would say, from that pilot, but maybe it gets better. I don't know.
Okay.
It was, because Van Helsing is probably objectively not that good of a movie, but I think it's kind of fun, and I like it.
Yeah, it's just a fun. It's like Sahara, where it's not like good, but it's just got a fun like I don't know, like flow, and it's just an entertaining kind of movie. It's nothing deep. But,
There's something fun about playing with those old horror genre elements.
Yeah.
So I will probably watch a little more, and it might just be like a fun, especially if it's on Netflix. It might just be like a fun turn it on when I don't really have anything else I want to do or watch, and kind of doing other things show, but. Yeah, so that's the most TV I feel like I've watched all year. I watched I guess Leftovers was last year. Yeah, so
I still haven't watched that.
I don't know if I've watched a full. I don't know if I've really watched any shows lately.
The problem with not having HBO is it makes it very hard to like find out about HBO shows.
Yes,
because like they don't put those commercials up like anywhere else. It seems like so.
HBO is the only channel where I will try out new shows. Really, otherwise I'm like when the show's over, or if I really hear so much acclaim, or I just happen to stumble upon it on Prime or something, I might check it out. But I'm so picky with TV. It's just I hate having to like spend years of my life watching a show.
That's why people just binge watch it in a week now.
I know, but then you don't know if the show's going to get a proper ending, and I don't have the patience for TV anymore.
Oh yeah, I don't really watch it unless it's like background noise. It's like just something I have to like just have some sound to go with it.
Yeah, I mean unless it is a good show. Every once in a while there's like an actual good show, and I'm totally on board. But movies are really
I haven't watched any like TV that's really.
You just like your Naked and Afraid XL.
Naked and Afraid, yeah. And then there's just something hilarious about that show. Though. Like, just some of the decisions people make. I'm just like, no. Like, what are you doing? Like, the guy's like, I'm going to eat the mushroom. And I'm like, oh no. It's like, he didn't even cook it. Like, he's like...
Well, if it's a poisonous mushroom, is it better if you cook it?
It's better to cook any mushroom. It's better to cook any food that you don't know if it's safe to eat. Like, you should cook it. Like, it's just kind of like the way to go.
They're in the wild. They're wild men and women, though.
Even non-poisonous mushrooms are just like cook. Like, your body has a hard time breaking down mushrooms if you don't cook them.
I guess I haven't tried an uncooked mushroom.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, right? You're
Touche.
like,
All right. Well, okay, let's go to a break.
Okay.
We'll come back, talk Don't Think Twice, the new Mike Birbiglia movie.
Did you go see it?
Yeah. So, multiple people are going.
Yes,
what all exactly does it entail?
Let us find out. I have not read the details yet.
The deets.
Please join us for a silent lap. What? A silent lap at the Memorial Park. Okay. Silent lap in memory of our beloved friend who is no longer able to take the lap with us. And that is the March for Harambe.
Harambe.
Yes.
The gorilla. The ape.
I'm going to mark myself as interested so I can keep getting updates.
No, you're not exactly a Harambe enthusiast in terms of the... I was going to say the man, but more the...
the man, the myth, the legend,
yeah.
The gorilla.
You're on board for the man in terms of... You like the myth, I think.
Yes. I like this, I don't know, the strange obsession that Omaha now has with Harambe.
I think everywhere has it.
Is it everywhere, or is it just us?
Harambe has captured the cultural zeitgeist.
Oh, man. Which is weird, because, like, I don't know. Like, it's a very calm... like capturing of the zeitgeist, I guess, because it's like
that's. Like, I love that phrasing. It's a calm capturing of the zeitgeist. It's quietly
like
captured the zeitgeist.
It did. It came out of nowhere. Like he died. Everyone freaked out for a little bit. It went quiet, and now all of a sudden there's just Harambe memes all over Facebook, and I don't understand. I mean, they're hilarious, but it's just like
there's so many that
like
are
it's
so funny.
like I don't get it. Like, who'd have think that the dead gorilla could bring so much joy to so many people? But
well, it's weird. It's very weird. There's there's this podcast called Reply All that they did like this whole discussion on basically the way that the memes have entered culture. And I think it's hysterical. I think it's very funny. But okay, my question is though, what do? You go there, you walk. Do you actually do anything, or is it just?
I'm pretty sure it was just supposed to be a joke, but
it's
now
just an
event. Now it has like 1,000 people interested in it. And
so they show up, and what is it? Does anything happen?
It's probably just gonna be a party. I'm
I'm
probably gonna bring a case of beer or something like that. You know,
where are they walking? Where is it?
Memorial Park.
Is it right down the street?
Yeah,
okay.
we should totally just get drunk and go. We can podcast from the
go,
march.
We can report on the march for Harambe.
Did you you know who Eric Andre is, right?
Yes.
Did you see his from the Republican National Convention or whatever? His little he pretty much like tried to party crash. It was hilarious.
I think I heard about it. I didn't actually see it happen.
He'd go up to people like doing interviews. He's like, "Hi, I interview people doing interviews," and people are like, "I'm doing an interview." And he's like, "Yeah, tell me more." You know, it's like. Or
that
like,
seems funny.
Yeah, I normally think he's a little bit obnoxious, but for some reason he had this video just like on point. Like he's like some dude's like yelling up at a microphone on a stand. And he's like, "Coachella sucks this year," you know. And it's just
But did he bring Harambe into it?
I think
somehow?
he did, but I'm trying to remember what he said about it.
Okay.
I don't know.
We had all that break, and we think of new things as soon as we come back,
And then it's gone again.
it's all gone forever. So. I saw the new Mike Birbiglia movie.
Yes, you did.
Don't think twice. I'd see it again if you want to go.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I enjoyed it. Well, okay, you've seen Sleepwalk with Me, right?
Yep.
You enjoyed it. I thought Sleepwalk with Me is good. It's not like super memorable, I think, if anything, but it was a pleasant, fun movie.
Yeah. It's not very movie-y for being a movie. It's like
a movie adaptation of his stand-up routine.
Yeah, it's a really long like episode of the movie. Like,
yeah,
where it kind of like cuts back and forth a little bit here and there, and then
Annie Hall, Louis, that kind of like mentality. I think it's definitely because it's like all about his relationship falling apart, and he talks to the camera, I think, and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so, Don't Think Twice is more movie for sure. It's got the ensemble,
the ensemble,
an ensemble of people, not just him. And so it's about the Commune, which is the name of the improv group, as they, basically. It seemed like the basic idea behind it is so improv works because everybody is able to rely on each other. Everybody's able to have kind of equal standing. Okay. But success outside of improv requires basically that you have to work for yourself. And so when there's this it's called Weekend Live. It's obviously supposed to be SNL. It has a scout there. And basically two of the people in the group get calls to audition for Weekend Live. And it starts to tear apart the commune because their own allegiance to each other starts to change into this interested. Like they go from the commune, obviously, like supposed to be like socialism, kind of like I think in my mind. So it's like everybody works. Commune. Everybody works for each other. Everybody thinks for each other. Like in the same. Well, like in improv because like you have to rely on. Oh, okay. So they all love improv, but obviously improv. There's not vast success in running a little improv club.
It's not very consistent, so it's kind of hard to
Right, and so it's kind of. When there's this idea that two of them could achieve real success, it now turns into, instead of them all having the improv mentality, they think the success mentality of potentially getting on to Weekend Live. Okay. And so it's all like, it's breaking them apart. It's tearing them apart, Lisa. And so I don't know that it's particularly funny. There are some funny parts. It's more like a poignant movie about funny people.
Interesting. I was expecting more of just a funny movie about funny people. With Mike Birbiglia.
It's a little cute. It's a little on the cute side when it's doing the funny, like the improv parts, which I think keeps it from being... It's not really laugh out loud funny in that sense because
maybe I'm not terribly interested. Because I don't know. I'd rather see just like a funny Mike Birbiglia movie.
Yeah, because he's funny. And there's at least one scene where he's very, very funny. And, but for the most part, it's more on a nuanced sort of toned down kind of style of you see a lot of them just doing the improv, but the scenes outside of that, it's a lot of like the group stuff, and you can tell it's very carefully constructed. Like he put a lot of work into writing it, so it all works.
It's not real improv.
The improv parts might, like the actual improv parts might be, but when it's like all of them just hanging out afterwards, You can tell that it's scripted and it's pretty well written, but it is a little more on the sentimental side than just like the silly side.
Okay.
And I think that works against the idea of it being like a movie you go and laugh at the whole time. It's more of a movie that you're like, it actually is surprisingly moving, I think, towards the end. And that's where it works at its best. And there were really good performances. Jillian Jacobs is fantastic. The girl from, she's in Community, I believe.
The blonde one or the brown one?
Blonde.
Yes, okay, I remember her.
Not Alison Brie.
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, that's her name, okay.
Yeah, so they're in it, and Birbiglia has a smaller part in it, but he's very funny. Okay. There's one really funny scene, but overall it was a good movie, I thought, and I would see it again. It's like a feel-good kind of happy movie, which you don't see those that are done well. And they're not. Once again, it's not.
I know, yeah. Like you're describing it to me, and I'm kind of like, yeah.
It's not super memorable.
Feel good, happy
again,
movie.
But
it sounds right up my alley.
But he's a good storyteller, I think, and he has an interesting sensibility. Well, because even like his stand-up, it's funny, it's clever, it's well constructed, but it's not like super memorable. It's not like, oh, I have to tell everybody this joke I just heard. Yeah. And so I think his movies kind of follow that. But he's a pretty good director, and I will keep watching his movies. I enjoyed it. Okay. Thumbs up for me.
Awesome.
I feel like there's one other thing we were going to talk about. What was the other thing? Did I write it down?
Maybe.
I just got Harambe.
I feel like there was too.
I pull up my browser and it's pictures of Harambe. Oh, okay. So I've been seeing stuff all over social media for forever about this No Man's Sky thing. I don't know what it is. It's a game?
It's in a very loose sense, yes.
What does that mean?
I haven't played it, but the basic idea is it throws you into a random spot into this big randomly generated galaxy.
Wait, okay. So does that mean like you're just living a life somewhere, or are you like an explorer?
You pretty much just explore.
Is it like it's got a space explorer? Like you've got
you start off with your spaceship that's busted, and you're just on some random planet. Okay. And then it's like, oh, fix your spaceship, and then you fix your spaceship, then you can fly anywhere, and that's pretty much that's fun. That's pretty much the whole game.
What is the hype about?
I don't know. It was just supposed to be some big new thing, essentially. Like thousands of millions of planets for you to go visit. And it's all been generated by some.
There's no
computer
conflicts,
program.
really. It's just like you just go run around.
A lot of people are pissed off because they were told, on a lot of like the early interviews and press stuff, they were saying like, oh yeah, everyone who plays, you're all in the same galaxy. You can run into other people, but you can't apparently.
So it's not.
There's no like multiplayer. There's no like way to do anything with your friends.
You can end up on the same planet but not together, essentially.
Yeah, essentially. But what they were saying early on is that you can go to the same planet and actually see the person there.
Wave.
But they were like, oh yeah, the whole galaxy is so big that you'll just never actually run into anybody. The probability of like seeing somebody is so ridiculously low.
So what do? You go to the planets.
You run around planets. Like there's a bunch of randomly generated animals and plants and stuff like that, and just stuff.
Are there people? Are there other people?
There's like people.
Yeah, like aliens.
Yeah, they're like aliens.
They're like, kill this intruder.
Well,
book this clown.
There's like an alien language that they all speak, and so you don't actually know how to communicate with them at first, and so you've got to like figure out words.
So you can go be like Jane Goodall to the space Harambe.
Kind of. Okay. Yeah. And then that's pretty much it. There's like no end game.
But people like it, don't they?
No, it's getting heavily flagged. Like the people are hating it because it's not what they thought they were getting.
What did they think they were getting?
They thought they were getting like go explore the galaxy with your friends, and there's actually going to be stuff to do. But no, like you pretty much just get your ship and then you can fly around.
Didn't I hear something where there's like everybody gets their own soundtrack somehow too?
Yeah, I think the soundtrack's procedurally generated too. But all that means is there's just like a computer like math problem that it throws tunes through. Okay. You get your own music. I mean that's been a thing for a really long time, is having like a procedural soundtrack or like a soundtrack that goes up and down with whatever you're doing on the thing. It recognizes what you're doing.
I don't know how video games work.
Yeah, I mean it's just a complicated computer program.
So that's kind of boring. Then it's not. Not exciting.
I didn't think it looked exciting at all. It looks like Minecraft in space essentially. It's kind
but people love Minecraft.
But you can't build stuff like you can in Minecraft or anything. Like you can't like do anything really. You have like your one little gun that you use. It's kind of like rocks.
You can just go have existential epiphanies.
That's pretty much what it is. Yeah.
Right? Okay.
You're supposed to get hammered and you go fly around the galaxy.
I think that's what it's for.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. But when you pay like a lot of money for like a game, you think go discover galaxies and whatnot with my friends, and then
You're colonizing
I don't
the
know.
world.
I was never terribly excited for it to begin with because I kind of recognized that it wasn't like a game that was not really nice to me.
What kind of games are you into?
I like my strategy games. So those are fun.
What about books? You reading any books these days?
I'm still on Gone Girl, but I'm just not very motivated to finish it, so I might pick up something else.
Go back to Gravity's Rainbow.
Read the second page.
Okay, well.
Very difficult to read book, that is.
End of the show here.
Yeah.
Last thoughts. Anything else?
I don't know, really. I mean, are we gonna... I don't know. Maybe we should go march for Harambe.
Let's go march for Harambe.
We will. September something. We'll have a fun little update from there. I think we should use some audio while we're out there.
Yeah, this is what it sounds like in the march for Harambe.
We could take the Zoom out and like interview people about the Harambe.
What?
That could actually be a fun little way to get some productions out there.
What are your thoughts on Harambe?
We can cover the.
Why are you marching for Harambe?